When you want to create an overcast edge, but with a seam, there's some great stitches that will kind of do it all together, kind of like how a serger does it. But if you don't have a serger, or maybe your serger has black thread on it and we're working on something light colored, well, instead of changing all that thread, you could just zip it down and be done. So what stitches are we looking at? So one of the stitches that works really well is stitch K, but the lower one. That means that we're going to move the stitch dial into the stretch area and leave the stitch width all the way up to 5. Now, with this stitch, it says foot 0 or 1, which you can use, and make sure you use the IDT. That helps kind of keep all the layers together. But you can also use foot number 3. Now, that's your blind hem foot, but there's a guide on it, and it's adjustable. So what I'm going to do is show you how you can set it up to keep all the edges running together, and we're going to overcast the edge and have it be a seam all in one pass. So you don't have to go back and do it 2 times. Now here is a little piece of ribbing, and it's stretchy, and I've cut a little neckline action here. So what I'm going to do is just put the ribbing next to that, and then we're going to sew this stitch and just let it do the job that it needs to do. Sometimes with ribbing I might pull it a little bit, but the idea is that your stitch jumps over the edge. It jumps to the right, and that's part of the overlock, sealing that edge, making sure that it doesn't get unravelly when you wash it. And there are other stitches, so anything that has both a straight edge and an over the edge feeling, like even I does, stitch letter I. Stitch number, technically H could do the same thing, and some of these over here as well. So anything that kind of jumps over the edge. So pretty much it's just fancier than a zigzag because it will actually create a little bit more. But I really like the one on K because it jumps over and puts a nice heavy kind of straight stitch. Now, of course, I'm working on knit fabric, so make sure that if you are doing this on an actual project, switch over to those ballpoint needles so you don't cut those fibers, and then as you start to wash this, it kind of loosens up or makes those little holes in the t-shirt fabric. A ballpoint needle doesn't cut the fibers. A universal needle will do the same thing, but let's just take a look. I've run the fabric right along the little edge. If I needed to, I could adjust it. Last thing is when I pull to the side, there is a little pin that's supporting the stitch. So the pin doesn't let me pull the fabric out. So all you have to do is pull it straight back first, just a little bit, and it will release the stitch. So this is what stitch K looks like. Again, the stretch level. You see this nice line down here creating our seam, and it's stretchy. So if this was to be like a t-shirt neckline, you would have the stretch, the seam, and the overcast all in one. So check out which stitches work well for you, and try the foot 3. It has the IDT, so that is pulled down and engaged. That helped make this pull through so much easier than if I had to kind of wiggle it myself. So enjoy, and even if you don't have a serger, this will be your option. And for those of you, take a look. If you are unfamiliar with what sergers do, if you work on a lot of knit fabric, you'll really appreciate it.